Hey guys, my name is Gloria and welcome back to my channel. If you're wondering why I'm dressed like an awesome person, you can check out my last video, which I will link down below, or maybe a card up here. It was my Women in Horror Month TBR, so get stuck into that one, get some suggestions for what you're going to read for Women in Horror Month, because it's just a cool thing to do. This video is unscripted, can you tell? Be honest now. Also, if it looks like I've put on makeup to make myself look dead or tired, that's not makeup, that's the bags showing through the makeup, because I'm working on like 4 hours of sleep here. So today I want to go over all the books that I read in January, which was actually 15 books. I know, impressive. I was actually, by the time I got around to 10, I thought maybe I can do 20, and that was just ridiculous for me. So 15 books is pretty good in a month. I guess I was on a new year, new me roll here. So a few of them were physical books, but a lot of them were ebooks as well. So let's get into it. I will link my Goodreads down below. You can see what I rated them on there. I will link the reviews on my blog for all the books down there that I have reviews for. I also have a few video reviews of the books that I read this month, so I will link those down below as well. So many links. I'm giving you so much here, so much content, quality content, you know? Also, like and subscribe if you like what I'm doing here, if you like my new fancy nails that I'm obsessed with. I effing love them. I was way too close to the camera, wasn't I? Cool. The Institute by Stephen King. I did a video review on this, so you can click on that if you want to see the whole thing. Thought it was quite good, not perfect, but I definitely liked it better than the last 2 Stephen King books, so, you know, nice cover too. The next book that I read was also a physical book. It was Daughter of the Storm by Tina Callahan. Absolutely love this cover, absolutely love this book. I did a video on this one as well because I liked it so much, so you should check that video out and check this book out. It is about a girl who goes to a tiny island where her dad grew up because he sadly passed away, and strange things are happening on that island. It's got a very gothic vibe to it. I really liked it. The next book I read was given to me for free. It was a review for my blog. It was called Wild Dark Times by Austen Case, and I thought it was really good. It was kind of odd. It was a end of the world type thing with these magic people, sort of Aleister Crowley kind of magic, not like Harry Potter kind of magic, but it was the happiest end of the world I've ever seen. That's what I'll say about it. It's quite funny. I'll link the review down below. You should check it out if you're into any kind of magic kind of stuff. Number 4 on my list was also a physical book that was given to me. It's got a creepy baby doll on the front, which is cool. It's the 3rd Corona book of horror stories, edited by Lewis Williams. It's a set of short horror stories. They were all sort of different. They were all weird. There's some Saw vibes in here. There's ghosts, there's monsters. The one that I really liked the most, and the one that I mentioned the most in my review, was Curious If Anything. The reason for that being, it's about a man who walks into his bathroom to find a ghost, much like the lady in the bath in The Shining. There's a ghost in his bath, and instead of being afraid, he's curious, if anything, and he's trying to figure out who the ghost is. And it was just a new take on an old kind of trope, and it was really interesting, really well written. I really liked it. There's a lot of good stories in this book. The next on my list was the worst rated book for this month. It was a bit of a letdown. I have a video review on the full thing. It's called The Cult of Freedom House by Stephanie Evelyn. It's just not enough cult. You can't have cult in the title and not have any cult. You can't have a reverse psychology cult. It doesn't make any sense. So you can watch the review of that. There's the rant review. I got plenty to rant about in that one. The next one was a duo of short stories called Dreams of Lake Drucka and Exhumation by Mike Thorne. It was also given to me by the author to review on my blog, so that one was given for free, but I did really enjoy it. The two stories are tied by the theme of owing a debt to a supernatural being, and one of them turns out alright, one of them doesn't turn out so good, but it was good writing, it was really interesting, and I did like them. Okay, so 3 of the books that I read this month were kind of cheap books. I don't like having books on my shelves that I haven't actually read. It just irks me, and I've had these for ages. I bought them a while ago and I just never read them. And they are the 3 charity Harry Potter kind of books. So we have Tales of Beedle and the Bard, which is cool. It's got really nice, it's hardback for my cool nails. It's also got really nice illustrations inside. There's Quidditch Through the Ages, which was quite funny. The Snitch, I call myself a Harry Potter fan. The Snitch was a sniglet. It's a little bird. Look how fat he is. Jesus. There's Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them. Not as many drawings as I'd liked. I would have liked some drawings in this, but you know, these were for comic relief and everything. They're for charity for the kids and everything, and I did like them. The next book I read was a set of short stories called Dreaming at the Top of My Lungs by Israel Finn. I actually had this, I downloaded this over a year ago, I'd say. I think we're Twitter mutuals, and I was going around buying all my Twitter mutuals books just to support them, and I didn't get around to reading it because it was an ebook form and I could just forget about those. But unfortunately the author was having a difficult time, he was grieving, so I decided to read the book and review it and give it a rating and everything, just to sort of boost him up. I think a lot of people on the Twitter community that knew him were sharing the book around and asking people to buy it just to support him in a hard time, so I thought it would be good to do that, and it was really interesting. There was some great writing in there. I really enjoyed those stories. The next book is a nuclear apocalypse, post-apocalyptic thing called Savage Days by Kyle Van Dongen, and it was given to me to review for my blog. It has an unfortunate cover, I will say that, but the actual writing and the actual story are fantastic. It's the story of this small community that's trying to survive after a nuclear apocalypse, and a young woman's daughter is taken by a mutant monster that's been terrorizing them, and a couple of them band together to try and get rid of this monster before the entire community breaks apart. The 3 main characters are so strong and they really hold the story together. It's such a great read. If you like post-apocalyptic books, please read this, and you can see the full review down below. The next book, I made a video about this as well, so I'll link that. It's True Crime by Samantha Kolesnik. Damn. That's all I'm gonna say. It was a good book. Good book. It was a great book. It's not an easy read. The writing is easy, but the actual story, the actual content of the story is harrowing. My review may have some spoilers, maybe. I didn't mention anything after the first third of the book, I don't think, but you can judge that for yourself. The next book is my last physical book, another review copy that was sent to me. It is a sci-fi cosmic horror story. It was actually really an interesting read. It's called Periphery by Michael Winter. It was an interesting read because it sort of touches on the theoretical physics theory of atoms and different things reacting differently when they know they're being observed. I don't know a whole lot about this, but I am dating a scientist, so I have vague idiot understandings of it. But I thought it was really interesting. There are creatures in this book that have existed beside us for millions of years, and we've evolved to not be able to see them for our own safety, because when people do start noticing them and seeing them, they attack people. So it was really interesting seeing the characters who know that the monsters are there, realizing that if any of their family notice them staring at something, their family could then be in danger. So it was good writing, it was funny at times, there were great characters. It was possibly one of my first cosmic horror books and I really enjoyed it. I think the cover's creepy as well, so I like that. The second last book that I've read is Hollow by Rhonda Parrish, also given to me from my blog. It's a short read, it's a YA horror, and it follows Morgan as she's in the aftermath of a lot of different kinds of trauma, one of them being that her younger brother was killed in a car crash that her mother was paralysed in, so she's dealing with home stuff, and she's dealing with being bullied at school, being slut-shamed, and she finds a camera that when you take a picture of someone, it leaves them with the worst part of themselves. So she finds this camera and she has to deal with her friends and the people around her sort of turning on her when she needs them most. It deals with sexual assault and trauma and grief, and I think it's a great read for YA for teenagers. It was really well written. It was believable because she was on her phone and on Instagram quite a lot, so you rarely see that in books, you rarely see that in horror, so that was refreshing to see. I'll link my review down below for that as well. That was quite good. And the last book for January, the 15th book, is a mystery because I have not finished it as of this moment. I think I'm on 54%. It's an ebook. It's Shepherd's Warning by Kaylin Lloyd. So far it's there seems to be so many mysteries, so many questions cropping up. There's a lot going on. There's a lot happened in the first half of the book, so I have no idea how much more can be packed into the second half of the book. But if I've finished by the time I'm editing this video, I will have some sort of text here to tell you what I really thought. And otherwise I'll link the blog down below for review. So for January I really wanted to get on top of my blog. I was asked to read a lot of books around Halloween time, October, November, and I was in a reading slump, so I just didn't get them done. So I really wanted to get on top of all the review ones so that I can start reading the books that I actually want to read and that I have set aside and picked myself to read. I have a whole trolley over there filled with physical TBR. I have a phone filled with ebooks as well, so I'm going to do a couple of videos on just reading entirely through my physical and entirely through my ebooks, and just getting all of the books that I have read so that I can start on a clean slate. And I think with all of the books that I have, I might even reach my goal, so maybe I don't need to buy anymore. That's not gonna work, I'm gonna buy more. So that was my January wrap up. If I was to give a rating to the whole month, honestly, it would be like a 3.5 or 4. I really liked most of the books that I read. I stepped outside my comfort zone and read some cosmic horror and some horror with horrible themes that I normally avoid, like sexual assault. Normally I just can't read those, but I sort of pushed myself through and I read some fantastic writing because of it. I read some post-apocalyptic, which isn't my usual thing, but I really enjoyed that as well. So hey, step outside your comfort zone, you might find something you like. I think that's the most I've read in 1 month. Obviously a few of them were tiny Harry Potter books, so I kind of cheated, but shut the fuck up, they're still books. I think I'll have a lighter load for February because I'm going to slow down a bit. I'm going to concentrate on my own writing. I have some competitions coming up for burlesque that I need to get ready for and practice. God. A bit less reading, but there'll be more reviews, and I also have a writing retreat I'm going to. That's gonna be intense, hopefully. But I'll be sure to do a February wrap up as well. Like and subscribe down below if you like what I'm doing, and I will see you in the next video.